there, I'm Sierra Bailey and I am back with another Tuesday tip. Today we're going to talk about something that is very near and dear to my heart because I have been through a big situation of needing to move on, walk away, quit, close a business that I had started and run for 16 years. And I went through a lot of this personally and had people kind of trying to reach out to me and help me out through it. But I really dug my heels in out of a weird sense of, I guess, loyalty to the business. A lot of it was the psychology of not feeling like I had the right to quit something that I created as my dream job. Or, oh, I've started a business. I must stay till the very end. Like, this is my life. Or a big thing that a lot of my fellow jewelry makers got upset with me about was that I had a successful business, and the fact that I decided to close a successful business was very difficult for many to understand. But I want to talk about 5 signs that it is time to move on, because if you are on the fence about something, and I would say one of the biggest problems that entrepreneurs or small business owners, my talented tiny business owners, seem to have is that they don't allow themselves to walk away. Now, I'm not saying that everybody should just give up in hard times and walk away. That's not it at all. But many of us have been in a position where something may be still working, but there is a voice inside of us that is fighting it every step of the way for whatever reason. So let's talk about some of those signs. And if you resonate with any of this, you're free to reach out to me to talk about it. I really recommend that you reach out to your network, that you start talking to people about this, because it's okay to quit. It's okay to close a business. It's okay to walk away. I opted myself to liquidate my business, not to sell it. I didn't want the name of Manic Trout going on without me. That was my choice. So there are things that you can do within that. So what are the 5 signs? Well, the first, if you are experiencing more negative than positive with something. So sure, we all go through really hard times. I've cried in the showers many times over the years, right? Like, that's a no-brainer. I have had huge stresses with business. But for the most part, I still loved a lot of what I was doing. Yes, you're only doing really what you have the talent in to begin with about 10 to 20% of the time. The rest can be kind of a slog. But for the most part, it was all pretty positive until it wasn't. And I actually still pushed through that negative for about 2.5 years because I, like I said, had so many issues around that. But it was negative for a long time. There was nothing that I liked about it since then. And people ask me constantly, do you still make jewelry? No. I did keep all of my fancy pliers and all of my tools in case I one day want to, and I'm still trying to, long story, but I'm still liquidating in a way. But I definitely have no desire to make jewelry again. All right, now let's move on to the next one because it's quite tied into that. So spending time on the thing is stopping you from rewarding endeavors or is damaging you. So I started to find in my own self that I was unable to take on new projects and do new cool things because I didn't have enough time to run this thriving business and do the new things. So then I just started getting really upset because I had to turn down really cool projects or just exhaust myself, like the year I did the live TV show of trying to juggle the 2 things at once. And it couldn't happen. It was too much. So I want to point out that if you find yourself constantly saying, well, I can't go do this other thing I want to work on because this is taking all of my time and I hate this, that's something to think about. Now the other, and I also experienced this, is that it is damaging you. I had extreme tendonitis that would not go away. I was in pain at all times. I did have people helping me do piecework, but it was a handmade company and on purpose. I did not want to manufacture, long story, but I was falling apart. I was in pain all the time. So the thought of doing that for another 10 years was impossible. I was being physically damaged. So that is something to think about too. I just could not go on. So, not only negative feelings, but physically damaging, and I was not able to start doing other things. The third is that your friends and your family, your loved ones, your network are telling you to move on. Either saying it's okay to move on. You can do this. It's okay. Or when you're ready, we know you're going to move on. Oh, oh, you could be doing these other things, but they start dropping hints, and they may not straight out say to you, hey, you should stop this, but they really start to say like, yeah, what else are you interested in doing? Or yeah, you can move, it's okay, that kind of thing. That is something to pay attention to as well. And I'm not even talking about in situations where you are having like a failure and it's time to kind of fold in the towel. I'm even talking about if things are going well and that on the outside, everybody's like, it's great. Why would you want to stop? But your close people start to see when you are having those first two things, that you're not being able to take on new rewarding opportunity, that you're damaging yourself mentally, physically, or that you are having way more negative than positive. I was in a bad mood all the time. Poor Adam. The fourth is that your priorities have changed around what you're doing it, or you're doing it for the wrong reason. So that can come into, if you ever do anything with goal setting or listen to my talking about goal setting, if we get into something for somebody else's priorities, let's say you become a doctor because your mom really wanted you to be a doctor. And then one day you wake up and you're like, I don't want to be a doctor. Great example of that. My priorities really changed. And I realized that I wanted to be helping my fellow tiny, talented, didn't even say that right for myself, my talented tiny business owner peers, and not necessarily making jewelry. I wasn't valuing kind of the outcome, and I wanted to be doing something different and wanted to prioritize even a different job, not just what I wanted as my, big goals in life. And the last is that you're not quitting because of all the time, the money, or the effort you've put in. Does that resonate with you? That usually is one that resonates a lot with people. You're not stopping because you're like, well, I can't stop now. I need to get a return on my investment. Well, guess what? Sometimes the return doesn't come. And those first 4 signs that I talked about are so worth you just walking away from that time, money, or effort. Are you experiencing any of these? All of these? I was experiencing all of them. That's how I really knew it was time to move on. I had some big heart-to-heart talks with myself and with people that I really respected and people that understood where I was. And then with people who didn't. And I really was incredibly convinced it was time. Don't take it lightly, but pay attention. If you're really in a situation where you're thinking it might be time to move on, run down this list, see how you're feeling. As I said, you can always reach out and have a conversation with me. I definitely know what it feels like. But always talk about things. Don't just stay in a dark hole and think you're the only one out there. There are hundreds of thousands of your fellow talented tiny business owners out there. Come join the Doers, Shakers, Makers Facebook group. We'll embrace you with open arms and we'll enjoy that kind of conversation. But I will be definitely back next Tuesday because I'm Sierra Bailey with Doers, Shakers, Makers, and this has been another Tuesday tip. Have a great day.